The O in the vowel sequence stands for optimism. And I think it's important to remember that while there are these issues around lack of apprenticeships, weaknesses in early education, hard to explain elements of the immigration system, that the U.S. is actually operating at a 5.5% unemployment rate, is growing significantly more robustly than West Europe. And I make this point about optimism because when I talk to young people today, for instance, my daughter, who's a junior at Wellesley College, she and her friends seem way more concerned about how employable they're going to be and what they're going to find when they get out there than we ever were when I was an undergraduate at a liberal arts college, also in Boston, Massachusetts, where we frankly didn't spend much time back in the 1970s thinking about these issues. Right. So on the one hand, as a parent, I feel I'm glad that my daughter is thinking ahead to what she wants to do with her life. I do worry a little bit that, to the extent that extreme pessimism settles in, some of the best elements of a liberal arts education, again, another distinctive thing of the U.S. educational system, are going to get watered down in, crazy frenzy of pre-professionalism. And so I think, the basic model, get a broad education, focus on something deep, but have a broad enough base that you're able to execute some changes in the course of your career, is probably the model I'd recommend, but it's a model that seems very risky to people who are really very worried about what the job prospects look like. So one can overdo the gloom and doom in a way that induces young people to make the wrong choices, at least in my opinion. And finally, the U in AEIOU is universality, and again, this goes back to the big debate about social inequality, et cetera. And without insisting on equality of outcomes, in terms of equality of opportunities, I think it should be fairly non-controversial that there are significant groups that have been systematically left behind for various historical reasons, and that focusing or concentrating some efforts there is going to yield more in the level of aggregate social benefits than distributing the same amount of financial support, et cetera, very evenly but thinly across the entire population. So when I think of the enormous gains that occurred when women joined the workforce in greater numbers, that to me is the best testament to sort of the unlocked potential of the groups, and I think this unfortunately still affects women to a significant extent, but there are also clearly ethnic minorities that are not on this alleged escalator of social progress.